I mean, something I just want to really bring across from a P&I club's perspective. We stand up at these seminars quite a bit, and you hear people saying, we haven't had any problems since 2020, since, and I don't agree with that. From a P&I club, obviously, we only get the bad news. People only come to us and tell us when there's a problem, when they've got a problem with the fuel. We don't get an email to say, oh, we had some lovely fuel last week. We only get to hear about the bad news. But we've definitely heard of a lot of problems since 2020, and GCMS testing has very much came to the forefront. And what we see as a club is that sometimes fuel is bunkered on board a vessel, and the fuel is then either not managed correctly on board the vessel, or the fuel was unstable before it arrived on board the vessel. And actually finding out what caused that can be quite an expensive process, because you need experts on both sides, on the charterers and on the owner side, and you need to prove exactly what caused the fuel. So what we're providing you here is information. We're not trying to say to you by any stretch, don't carry out GCMS testing. But, and I'm hoping you agree with me here, John, if you see that there's a GCMS caution rate on a port where you're going to bunker fuel, I as a technical superintendent would most definitely be interested in carrying out GCMS testing in that port, or I may be tempted to look at other fuels, let's say, So it's just a pre-warning. It's not there to replace any sort of testing at all. But if I did see red on this, on the GCMS caution, then it would definitely indicate to me that I need to do further investigation before I bunker that fuel. And we'll talk about that later on from a wax appearance and wax disappearance temperature perspective as well, as we go throughout the few slides later on.
Great point, Mark. I think, please note that this only looks at data from the last 30 days. So it is very actual what you're seeing right now. This picture changes by port almost weekly. So you're always getting a refresh of the latest situation.